Your Eminences, your Reverend Fathers, the leaders of our political parties, the leaders of our political action and advocacy organizations, representative of sister Armenian organizations, cultural organizations, dear guests, and dear fellow members of the Bosa Amirci. 13 years, just like the few weeks after Hrant was killed, assassinated, as we gathered in Glendale in the large auditorium, as some of you, most of you I believe, were with us. We're here still looking for justice, and you'll hear a little more about that, but also hoping that some of his vision and some of his dreams in some part are realized, and if not, that we are even more dedicated, as someone I respect a lot in Agos had said, in stubborn defiance of the darkness that took him away from us. And that will continue. I will not prolong my speech because we have such valuable guests, and I hope that you will enjoy their varied presentations to you this evening. Of course, one person, Dr. Kulak, didn't thank himself as him, so I can't let that go. I would like to thank him. He's also contributed to this event, as always, as many years. And of course, I'll say it in English too, in case anyone didn't understand, because it was very generous of them to help with putting this organization together. The Ignatius Foundation, Walter Caribbean, of course, and George Phillips, and Honorable Superior Court Judge Michael Amirian. Before I call on, what I usually do, this is what we did this year. Usually I gave you an update of what's going on in Istanbul every year, how that, turtle speed pace of the progress of Hrant Dink's murder trial, and all the peripheral justice-related issues. But this year we have Tamar Nalcı with us, and I will introduce her shortly, and she will play my usual role, and she's much more on top of it and enlightened than I am, and that will be great. But before I do, usually, not every year, but to the extent that he could, Adam Schiff has been with us over the years. He could not be here this evening. You probably could relate to why. And he is a solid, great friend of the Armenian people, regardless of the politics. So I would like to read his letter addressed to me, but on your behalf. From Adam Schiff, Member of Congress, California's 28th District, to Edwin Minassian, Chairman of Board of Trustees of Organization of Istanbul Armenians. Dear Mr. Minassian and friends, I join you on the solemn day as we honor the 13th anniversary of the murder of Hrant Dink, a prominent Armenian journalist who was shot to death outside his Agos newspaper's office in Istanbul, Turkey. I would also like to thank the Organization of Istanbul Armenians for organizing this significant commemorative event. Hrant Dink founded the bilingual newspaper Agos, giving a voice to Armenians in Turkey. He was driven by his belief of building a homogeneous community and had unparalleled courage to confront the historical facts of the Armenian genocide, for which he was persecuted, prosecuted, and eventually paid the ultimate price. However, Hrant Dink's life's work was not in vain. At his funeral, thousands of people, Armenian and non-Armenian alike, marched in the streets of Istanbul, carrying placards that read, "We are all Hrant Dink," and chanting, "We are all Armenians." To this day, the impact and unifying effect of Hrant Dink's legacy is felt throughout the global Armenian community. I had the honor of meeting Hrant Dink and will always remember his courageous spirit. Today, the Armenian community and his admirers around the world remember Hrant Dink, the heroic defender of freedom of speech and human rights, and pledge to advance his cause of fighting injustice. Sincerely, Adam B. Schiff, Member of Congress. Thank you for taking the time to send us that nice letter. Now, later on, I will speak